last little tidbit. I didn't get to it because I ran out of time because YouTube only lets 15-minute videos. The first thing, you have to write cosine sine. You know how these are 2 points? C comes before S in the alphabet. So cosine of 60 degrees is 1/2. Sine of 60 degrees is root 3 over 2. So you'll be asked things like that. That's how the values of the unit circle, they'll say, what's the cosine of 120? What's the sine of 120? What's the cosine of 270? What's the sine of 270? Cosine's the first point, sine is the second. So how you even use the unit circle is you say, okay, if somebody says, what's the cosine of 120? You're like, 120, cosine's the first point, negative 1/2. What's the sine of pi? You're over here on pi. And sine is the second one, so it would be 0. You would literally say the sine of 0 is pi. Or what's the cosine of 11 pi over 6? It would also be the same thing as the cosine of 330. That'd be the same question, and it'd be the first one, root 3 over 2. I didn't get to this video, so this is how you use the unit circle. It's cosine comma sine. The first one is the cosine, the second one is the sine. And you just go to your value. So it's like if it says, what's the sine of 4 pi over 3? You go to 4 pi over 3. The sine would be the second one. You'd say negative root 3 over 2. That's the actual answer of the problem. Quadrantal angles, those are the ones on the angles. So if it's like, what's the cosine of 0? Cosine of 0 would be 1. What's the sine of 90? It'd be 1. What's the cosine of 270? Cosine of 3 pi over 2 would be 0. What's the cosine of 7 pi over 4? Negative, or root 2 over 2. What's the sine of 330? Sine's the second one, negative 1/2. That's how you use the unit circle. It's cosine, then sine are the 2 points. Then, furthermore, if they ask you the tangent of something, the tangent is always equal to sine over the cosine. And the cotangent, that says cotangent, is equal to cosine over the sine. So sine over the cosine, that would be like if you literally had to take root 3 over 2 divided by negative 1/2. So you have to do a little bit of math when you do the tangents and cosines. You have to do a little bit of math. It would end up looking like, okay, if they said, what's the tangent of 45? I'm going to put it in this space. The tangent of 45 would be the root 2 over 2 divided by root 2 over 2, which you'd have to copy, dot, flop, and these would cancel, and it just goes to 1. That one was easy. If we wanted the tangent, I should write it on new. If we wanted the tangent of 30 degrees, or tangent of pi over 6, tangent of pi over 6, they'll ask you that. You say, okay, it's sine divided by cosine. So sine divided by cosine. And you do copy, dot, flop. Those 2's cancel. 1 over root 3. But we have to rationalize that denominator. Root 3 over 3. So the tangent of pi over 6, that would end up being your answer. The tangent is a little bit more complicated. What's the cosine of 7 pi over 4? Root 2 over 2. What's the sine of pi? 0. What's the cosine of 7 pi over 6? Negative root 3 over 2. You literally plug in those values. Tangent, you take them and you have to divide. So like, okay, let's do another one. Let's do cotangent of 150. Cotangent would be negative root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. It'd be the first one divided by the second one. So negative root 3 over 2 divided by 1/2. Root 3 over 2. Copy, dot, flop. The cotangent, root 3. The cotangent of 150 would be equal to root 3. That's how you use it. It's so crazy. It's so fun. It really is just a little puzzle. And if we had more time in school, I would love to explore this with you. I just wanted to make sure you guys got to see it and understand how it kind of works. All right. Love ya.